We in there, baby. What up, everybody? Jimmy gonna start it. You can start the show, Jim. I'll let you start. I'll start. H-Town, what's up?
Yeah,
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Jimmy?
man, come on, go. Let's go.
Start the show then. I just said start the show. I just asked you, did you hear me? I got to be able, I got to know, do y'all hear me? That's all.
I hear you.
I don't have any indication over here.
Can you hear me?
Let's
Can
go.
you hear me?
Come on. Y'all can hear you, Chris. You know, Mr. Late over there. Go on, start the show, man.
So you're not gonna say H-Town, what's up?
No, I'm not gonna do it today. I'm trying to find something else out over here.
Why you got all them buttons unbuttoned and shit like that? Let's get this thing rocking, guys. Hey, man. Once again, guys, welcome to the Chop Shop, your midday sports happy hour, the best 120 minutes of your day. Yours truly, Jim Hicks, and we are trying some new things for you guys to enhance our digital footprint of the Chop Shop. We have Chris Walker, Robert Hatter, that is indeed the Hatter, and of course the Hater, live in effect, 3 the hard way, and we're going to cover a lot of topics. You hating today?
Oh, yes,
I can't wait to jump clean up on Hatter. You already know. Rich Paul for life. Rich Paul for life. Rich Paul for life.
We're getting right into it right now.
You gotta bring something to get some, baby.
Rich Paul for life.
Hold on, guys. What we're gonna do is on yesterday, let me bring everybody up to speed. Like yesterday's show, Chris had to abruptly leave. Moments after he left, then the news broke that the NCAA had officially revised the rules regarding to the agent being required to have a bachelor's degree. So that has been modified by the commission. And so here we stand.
Can I make a statement first?
No, hold tight. Your statement gonna turn into
no propaganda. No propaganda.
I got to give people. You and your you're limited. You just look at one source. But I want to bring some to light. It's very important. This ain't nothing to play with. This is very, very, very important. And because NCAA, when we left, I want to give people a third, because you got to understand, y'all know about it, but a lot of people don't know about it. And NCAA, to the people who don't know, they put out a statement which I'll read here, amending their initial rule that had a degree requirement for an agent to represent a player who wanted to consider going back to school. That's the group we're talking about. Because sometimes I get email and text because a lot of people are not clear on this thing. Players who want to retain their amateur status around the draft process, if they want to represent that player, these the agents they're talking about. And the initial requirement, Jimmy and Chris, was a degree. As we, like taking a test on the college campus on the campus of the NCAA in Indianapolis, as well as being certified by the NBA Players Association for a minimum of 3 years. There was a lot of backlash and wrong narrative. A wrong narrative that I wanted to clear the narrative up before we came in. That's the point I wanted to do. On their website of the National Basketball Players Association, Chris Walker and Jim Hicks, they said they shall accept if sufficient and relevant negotiation experience in lieu of the degree requirement. Now, this the Players Association, the NBA Players Association. They say you will need to provide supporting documents as well as an addendum stating that you are experienced and you should expect experience in negotiating in lieu of a college degree. And the exceptions, Jimmy, are granted on a case-by-case basis. And the answer, so what happens is the NBA Players Association already had this rule, Jimmy. And we keep talking about the NCAA, but so guess what? Guess who the president of the Players Association?
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul. Guess who was the vice president?
I don't know.
LeBron James. You know who it was. He was the vice president. Now, their own organization rule, Jimmy, that you need a degree. If you want it, or you got to have documentation showing that while you did need the degree, you got experience. So just to put this blame, I'm just saying, we going at the NCAA head, but Chris Walker.
They made the rule.
But the hold up. They followed the NBA Players Association rule. And hold up. And that's all. That's all they did. You have to have a degree to be an agent, Chris Walker. So now,
why do you have to have a guy? No.
Hold on.
Get him, Jimmy. Get him, please.
Jimmy, you chopping up again.
Isn't it permissible? And agents who do not have a degree. Isn't it permissible? And there are some agents, many, who do not have a degree. They must have went through the National Basketball Players Association for a waiver. Is that true?
It's not a waiver, Jimmy.
It's an exemption.
It's a process you have to go through.
An exemption.
Like a waiver.
That's what it is. An exemption. But you said waiver. That's two different words.
Oh shit! You know what I'm talking about. Come on now.
Oh, I forgot. We digital now. We can curse.
No. You don't need to curse. You don't need to curse.
Okay.
Let's try to keep it clean because we're doing some. I'm gonna send this somewhere. So let's.
So that people can understand, there are a lot of agents. Once again, since after I just asked you this question, there are a lot of agents that do not have that requirement, and that is the way that they became agents, sort a la Rich Paul. They had to go and get an exemption. And would be
well, Jimmy, explain what the exemption for. You had to have, you have to prove, Jimmy Hicks, Mr. Smarty, you have to prove that you had to have an addendum and documentation proving that you have negotiating experience.
In what?
You just can't just sign it. Okay, it's a waiver, and y'all go like y'all doing that little NCAA and a player get to play immediately. I'm just letting you know.
In order to get approved for the exemption, you still have to go through a process, and they would have to deem you credible.
But I'm just explaining the process further. You just give a vanilla situation. I'm trying to.
Now, listen. So at the same time, we're talking about fast forward to the now. After yesterday's ruling, there are still some ways, of course, that an exemption will be granted. For those, for example, if you are an agent that's going to bypass the 3 years of representation rule, if you are an agent, listen to me, guys, and you represented one of the young men who tested the waters this in 2019, but opted to go back into school, you will be granted an exemption that will not require you for 3 years of experience, not require, of course, the college degree is thrown out the window. Those guys will be able to represent players next in 2020, only if they fit that qualification. Now, Chris, you can get your thoughts on this topic right here, and then chime in, then Haller can come back and counter punch, so to speak.
No, he not counter punching. He punching like Apollo Creed and Rocky. What I'm saying is, here's the deal. They made a ruling. They thought they was cute. We fought back. And had to go make that face. Look at the face he had. I want everybody to look at Hatter's face. We fought back. Rich, how about this, Hatter? Let me say this. If Rich Paul never responded, if everybody just said we're not going to respond, Jimmy, would that rule still be standing today?
Absolutely it would.
So the fact that they responded and bounced back and they used a person of color angle, right? Look what happened. What should they tell us? Again, Hatter, we bounce back. You right. Hey, listen,
Don't talk to me. Keep talking.
Hold on. I'm gonna say. How about this? Let me say something. You the expert. I'm not coming at your knowledge. You the expert. You said that Chris Paul, LeBron James angle. You stated what's happening in the NBA. All I'm saying is they could have said nothing. They could have not responded, and then the rule would have been the rule. But we fall back, right? We fall back, and look what happened. That's why I'm telling you the players should get paid. That's why I'm telling you that the rules where AAU coaches can't work in jobs that are anything other than coaching jobs. If we fight back and we're united, look what could happen. That's all I'm saying.
Mr. Fight Back and Mr. Snapback over there. I got something for y'all.
I'm listening.
Don't you have to have a college degree to be a college coach? The stuff you've been doing
Well,
for the last...
Not everybody. Not everybody.
I got a question.
Tell me who.
I got a question. Huh? I got a question. Do you have to have a college degree to be an NBA GM?
Nope.
Jimmy, hold up. Stop.
No. I'm just asking.
You ain't no college coach. Excuse me. You're not a college coach. I'm talking to the college coach.
Do you have to have a degree to be a GM?
Just Chris Walker. Could you have to walk your little nappy head butt over to
No, you can't. It's a requirement. You're right. But let me ask you a question. Do you have to have a college degree?
But Hatter, there are some exemptions. There are some exemptions.
Would say, what about Lil Pookie? He can coach. He can coach Cal. He can coach the University of Houston. Lil Pookie in the neighborhood.
There has been exemptions where guys have not had college.
There are some exemptions out there.
Give me one.
Jerome Tang was one.
I don't call names. I'm sure there's more.
Jimmy, excuse me. I'm talking about a head coach.
Jerome Tang had no degree.
Okay, I'm talking about a head coach.
Oh man, now you shifting
I'm
gears.
sure they've been head coaches. Hey, Hatter, let me ask you a question. Yes. If you own the Toronto Raptors or the Bobcats, and Lil Robert didn't want to go to college, right? Does that preclude him from being an owner? You own the Raptors, though. He ain't got to go to college. He don't have to go to college. So he can't be an owner, right? Because he got to have a college degree. You think they're going to put a rule in for the owners? And so he can't be the GM? He's got to go to college to be the GM if they put a rule in?
Chris, I just told you to comment on the college coaches because that's what you do. You're not a GM. Comment on what you do, man. Don't be like Jimmy. Comment on what you do.
I'm putting a hypothetical situation out there. That's all I'm doing. I'm saying, why do they have to make rules? I get you.
Why do you have to have a degree to be a head coach?
I don't believe you do.
Huh?
I don't believe you do.
I'm talking about the University of Houston. Would they hire Lil Pookie? Excuse me. Just answer my question. Would the University of Houston, if Kevin Sampson was to go somewhere, would the University of Houston or Cal University hire Lil Pookie, who Jimmy talking about this rule would have hurt because they don't have a degree?
Let me tell you why that's a different situation. You had an institution of higher learning. You cannot be a head coach at a university telling a kid the importance of a degree and not have one. That's all I'm saying. You should not be. That should preclude you. I'm sorry.
Wow.
But so hey, I'm just saying, you're in an institution of higher learning.
Wow.
Right. You should.
Jimmy, what's Jimmy?
Well, we don't stop NBA coaches from being NBA coaches.
That's your goal.
We don't stop NBA coaches from coaching the NBA because they didn't play in the NBA.
That's not that. We're talking about degrees and non-degrees.
I'm just saying, if you're in college, you guys should have a college degree.
Degrees and non-degrees. We're talking about tomatoes,
because education is a part of college. So you got to have a guy that's coach. Think about this, Hatter. Can you have a policeman?
So the NBA ain't a part of education?
No, it's not education. No, it's not. It's not a degree. It's not school. It's a job. Hatter, the same way you can't let a cop who's got a DUI be a cop. You can't let a cop who's has a felony be a cop. You know that.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You got to be
clean. What's y'all other point? Because that one was terrible. Another point.
Do you know a cop with a T-sheet? Do you know a cop with a felony before he becomes a cop?
No. I'm just saying.
Not before.
Jimmy, what's the next move? What's the next
Why
move?
you want to pivot? You said you had something for us today. I'm just
more.
How about this?
How
about this,
that
Adam?
subject there, we're going to beat that one. After the
No,
day,
no,
let's
no,
talk about
How about this? Let's pivot. How about this? Let's pivot on it.
Okay.
Doesn't it show when we bind together for something that's right, that was a ridiculous rule. And here we are, that dude without a degree,
I got a question.
and they changed it.
I
can't believe they changed it. So what other rules should be changed? Hey, Jimmy, what other rules should be changed then if we speak up?
Hey,
Well,
use LeBron.
first,
Okay.
first, and you say what other rule can be changed? I mean, in the NCAA, first and foremost, once again, last week I acknowledged what they did. They basically declared war against third parties. Third parties include event operators and summer coaches. In the ruling, in the descriptions for which the NCAA used in their verbiage after the Condoleezza Rice Commission, these all include third parties. So you declared war on these people, which includes myself. And then you turn around and you attempt to do events on your own, and bypass the third parties, which it sounded good on paper. But once it got down to the nitty gritty, and you realize that only 2 of the top 100 players in the country participated in the South region of the College Basketball Academy. And no more than 3 participated in Connecticut.
Let's see how many of them rules they changed then. So call LeBron, Jimmy and Chris, call LeBron them and see can they change that rule for you.
Elder, it don't take LeBron to change every rule in the NCAA. He's already won. He and Rich Paul, that was a definite victory. That was a victory. I mean, far beyond reach.
If I was the NCAA, I wouldn't have changed it. If I was the NCAA, I wouldn't have changed it.
Not that fast.
I would have changed it. I would have changed it because they realized the rule was wrong.
But here's my thing, Hannah. Here's my problem with the NCAA. Why not talk before you make that rule and step out like that and get that backlash? Why wouldn't you have talked to people before you did that? Why do you have to get slapped on the wrist?
Because they declared war. That's the whole thing. Why they gonna come and talk to the event operators?
Jimmy, they don't declare war.
They did.
They don't stick the knife in Jimmy. In war, excuse me, Jimmy.
Oh, good grief,
in war, sir. You don't have to, one of these days if you listen, you might learn something. But in war, you don't stick the knife in somebody, then take it out and say, in war, you're trying to kill them, Jimmy.
You're trying to, they're okay, dude, do you understand? One of the motives, they were trying to exterminate what was going on. If you're trying to exterminate something.
Trying to exterminate, they were
trying to exterminate.
They trying to keep you guys in check.
Ain't no in check. They were trying to not in check,
Jimmy. Even the agent.
Hey, let's stay on the message. Let's stay on the message.
Even the agent rule had precedence. The number one thing they said they was trying to stop if you read the whole thing, they was talking about scrupulous characters around giving the players advice. Hold up. AKA Chris Dawkins type.
What do you mean? What about the guy what about the guy they put on the witness stand? What about the guy they mic'd up to catch all the people? What about him? What about the setup guy? They talk about him? Martin Blazer. They talk about him?
Yeah, they talk about him.
So think about what I'm going to tell you right now. I learned this from you.
I wouldn't have known who his name was if they hadn't talked about him. His name Martin Blazer. I know who his name was. So they talked about it.
No, they ain't talking. You didn't talk about him just then. You said Chris Dawkins. Now, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Next question. I learned this from you. You said those unscrupulous characters. That's what you said, right?
No. Excuse me. That's what the NCAA said in their report.
Okay, so those so let me ask you words. All right, so let me ask you a question. Those guys you're talking about, the guys with the degrees, one of those guys took. Let me finish. Who took Tim Duncan's money? Who took KG's money? I can keep going because you told me this. Them dudes with the degrees, them unscrupulous dudes with the degrees is the one that's taking everybody's money. But the NCAA want to go after dudes without degrees. That's what Rich Paul is saying.
Excuse me. I don't know, but Jeffrey Epstein might have a degree. I don't know. So that's not the issue here. That's not the
The
issue.
issue is they going after people of color because usually they're saying those are the ones without the degree, just like AAU coaches and event operators. That's what Rich Paul was saying.
Okay. You said they're going after people of color, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Indirectly.
Okay. I'm finna help you out with this. And I'm gonna exclude that guy on the other screen.
Which guy's that?
Jimmy won't get this. You just said they're going after people of color. Did you just say this?
And that's the insinuation, yes.
Okay. So what about when the people of color have the power to make decisions and decide who they want to be represented by, people of color, and they choose the same people who are trying to block them out?
That's a good argument. Let's talk about that. I agree with you.
On the show today. So
I agree with you.
Talk about that.
I agree with you.
Hey, hold on. Because guess what? That's the only industry
Adam,
we have the power. We don't have the power. We're not over the NCAA. But guess what? We are over, Chris Paul. Chris.
Man, you better stop calling me Chris Paul, man. That bum. You better stop calling me Chris Paul, boy.
I'm sorry, Chris Walker. Chris.
Yeah.
Why don't we change? Alan Branch, one of my favorite guys in the world, he said, Robert, why don't we control the controllables? Have you heard that term, coach?
Yeah, I invented that. Keep going.
Control the controllables. Why aren't we in an uproar about that?
Well, guess what?
Something that we can't control.
LeBron James did when he came out of high school.
And guess what? And
he
guess
didn't do it
what?
when he came out of college.
Hold on. Just recently, he went with Aaron Goodwin. Then that.
No, we ain't talking about LeBron James. We ain't talking about LeBron James. I'm talking about people of color.
Okay, well let's go and think about the people, and let's think about we're based in Texas. So based in Texas, De'Aaron Fox just made a conscious decision and took a lot of heat to go and say, I'm going to go with a black agent.
He did.
He did.
Whatever he took, he stuck to his gun. So give me another example.
Give me
another example. It's got to be a movement.
Damian Dotson.
Huh?
How many examples? So every time we get one, how many do you need? Set a number. Every time we name one.
Excuse me, Jimmy. To change the industry, it's gonna take more than two guys.
But understand this.
Change the industry, it's gonna take more than one.
What makes the De'Aaron Fox situation more marvelous is the fact that he and Damian Dotson alike went with an agent that didn't have the ultra amount of resources that most of these other. I said resources. I'm talking about the monetary, what it takes in that business to flow.
I'm adding that because that's what you was whining about earlier. So I'm gonna keep throwing that in you, but keep going.
No, the college degree. We're not talking about that right now. We're talking about De'Aaron Fox and his decision to go with a black agent right now. So that is marvelous because of the fact that he went with a guy. Not only was his friend, just a la LeBron. But this was a guy that didn't have an ultimate amount of experience in other clients. Now had been around, remember, from H-Town, and that's Chris Gaston.
Where
and
are the De'Aaron Foxes?
Let me ask you a question. Why? Because you know this. Why? Because I think it's good that we're talking about this.
Oh, it's great.
About the Rich Paul thing. Why is it that this is happening? Because you work with tons of guys, big names, and people would know about right away. Right. And some didn't choose black agents, and they're friends of yours, and they end up working with you guys. Right. What is it in our culture? Why is that happening? Like, we got to get to the root of it. Why is it happening?
If I knew that, Chris, boy, oh my God.
So, what's your opinion?
I don't, because I'm not a skin diver. I can't dive inside of somebody's skin and understand what different parents are thinking. I mean, I don't know, Chris. I think you would be better equipped to answer that question than me. I'm on the other side. You're not. They got guys in this industry right now that will go try to pay Chris Walker
That's
or
right.
Jimmy Hicks
That's right.
to go and hook them up with a De'Aaron Fox.
That's true.
They got, and not all over the country, they got guys like that. So, and they tell you what they tell you, Chris. All I want is the meeting.
Yeah, all he
Once
wants is a
I get
meeting.
in the meeting, them folks I got them folks.
So let me ask you a question. So if that's the case, if we're talking about white agents or white financial planners, why don't the black agents and black financial planners do the same thing?
They do.
Do they? Because black one never came to
But
me.
some people get outbidded.
Mm.
I told you a situation this year. And the situation happened this year. Family, I know, great family. I interviewed with them. Great time. Kept conversation with each other. But they came into me, told me, said, look here, man, Mr. Happ. These folks offered me a whole lot of money. A whole lot. I just don't even want to tell a figure because I don't want these people that know I'm talking about. It's over $250,000.
Hold that thought when you come back. I want to come back to that when you're done. I want to come back to that. Keep going, though.
It's over that amount, Jimmy. Way over that amount. And said, look here. And I get what I told him.
Take that money.
I can't tell you to turn that money down. I said, I just can't tell you to. If you ain't got to do nothing to get this money, you got to. I can't tell you not to take it. I want you to sign with me right now. I'll give you part of it, but I'm not gonna give you all of it. So I got outbidded. But guess what happened, Chris? When it came time to disperse that money, because all I was thinking about, who's gonna have the tax liability?
That's right.
If somebody giving me this kind of money, who's gonna be the tax liable? I'm just trying to figure out how it works, how these people do it. Because I'm not privy to it, I promise. But I learned something this year. Tell y'all this one gonna be in my book. I'm not gonna give y'all this one on the air. But let me tell you something, Chris. In the meantime, Jimmy, when they were getting these people to sign, they gave them a endorsement letter to sign. See, it's two documents you sign when you sign with an agency. You sign the one with the Players Association, one that will allow him to represent you on your player contract, and you also have what you call endorsement contract. On this endorsement contract, Jim Hicks, me and the family were so close, I said, make sure you let me see the information. So they faxed me the information. But Jimmy, was several things that would tie. If these people leave this company, if this player leaves this company within a certain time,
right,
they're gonna have to pay all that money back, and they're gonna be they had a clause in there that they will be their endorsement partner for life.
That sounds like one of the old rules that Don King used to do in the boxing matches. And if you beat his player, he gets to co-promote your next fight or your next two. When Tyson was a champ.
But Jimmy, it was in fine print. You remember the family was looking at that money, right? They're looking at the money right here. While they were looking at the money, they slipped that paperwork up under. Said, now just sign this.
Well, but Hannah, is that what we're talking about? Why do these people, if you're going to be a big time athlete, you're going to make this money, you're going to get the $250,000. Why don't you go with the best representation instead of taking a handout? You're about to get the money.
Because
why
these people are poor and don't have no money.
But they're about to get the money, Hannah.
I know. I tell them that, and I that's my spiel. Talk to your homeboy next to you. That's my spiel. But guess what?
Well, opposite that ain't working.
What you mean?
So they not listening.
Well, it did work for the people who got him. I'm talking about no. I'm telling you.
I mean, in abundance, obviously they're not listening to that.
They're
No,
not.
I'm talking about what's not working is what Chris just said. Go with the best representation. Right now, many guys are going with
working. It's not that it's not working. That money, they talking about the power of that other stuff. Money, man, money is an unbelievable drug. I got a kid right now that's in the league. They've been in the league that long. He's worrying about his mom and daddy asking for too much already. He ain't even got a check yet.
So you saying there's something wrong in our community? I'm trying to get to the root of it. So you saying poverty is the reason why we do stuff like that. So you saying it's because we don't have nothing. You give us a little money and we'll do anything. That what you saying about black people?
Of course. And guess what, Jimmy Hicks? All that upfront money is a marketing guarantee. So guess what? In other words, later on, you're gonna make this money and you're gonna pay them, and all you're doing is really, in the end, Chris, they're buying you with your own money.
Correct. You got to pay it back. It's not free.
You got to pay. They give you $500.
It's like the music industry when they give you the you got to pay it back before they pay you.
They're gonna have the $500,000, but guess what? I just told a number. In their case, they're gonna have the money, but let's say the guys go get a big deal somewhere else, and these people be able to pay. Then they pay the agent their commission. Then guess what? All they doing is, I mean, and I hate.
Is that illegal?
No, it's not illegal because you're pro.
Oh, so you're saying when the season's over, yes, the dudes are trying to recruit them. They're getting ready to go into the draft. They're gonna get the money in a couple of months, and yes, they could go with bad representation. Yes. Take that check, go with bad representation when they're about to get the money in a couple of months.
Chris, I don't want to put that bad spirit out there. Don't ever say that about one of our kids. Don't settle for bad representation. I know what you meant, but let's not speak that into existence. Now keep on. Let's go. All right. Now keep going. Okay.
No, I'm saying someone who might be unscrupulous, right?
Not necessarily unscrupulous. I'm not saying they're unscrupulous, Chris. They probably just not experienced in this business. I'm not calling nobody no names.
But what I am. You're not in the business. I am. All I'm saying, I mean, you're not. I'm not in the business. You are. What I'm saying is, I can have no experience, but I'm an agent. I took my test, whatever, no experience, and because somebody, a billionaire like Jeffrey Epstein, gave me $4 million, $5 million to run this business. I come in, you recruiting the same dude I'm recruiting, and I'm like, look, man, I'm an agent like Hatter. You got all your experience. You say everything you say. And I say, look, I'm going to give you $500,000 up front. Who's he going to go with?
You're going to go with the guy to give him $500,000 up front.
And when I got no experience, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's what's crazy about that business.
They don't. Somebody told me.
Now, one of the questions we have on the Facebook feed, now, we have Waukesha asked,
I don't know how
do you know the number of
she got to go to the players. Tell her to go to the Players Association and they'll tell her. I don't know how many. I don't keep up with that. That ain't my job. To keep up with how many black agents. Call the Players Association. They'll give her that information.
What information? I didn't hear the question.
She want to know how many agents of color that how many agents, approved agents that are agents of color. So a lot of us out there.
I would like to know that.
I don't know. The Players Association has all that information.
So let me ask you a question. How many agents of color do you know with like influence, like guys you with, Bill Duffy, Aaron Goodwin,
Kevin Poston, Bill Duffy,
Rich Paul.
Yeah, Rich Paul.
That's it.
No. I just didn't think of him. When I think of these
Henry guys, died. Remember that Henry back in the day from Vegas?
Hank Thomas.
Hank Thomas. Is Calvin Andrews a guy?
Calvin Andrews. I don't know a lot of these guys, Chris. Andre Buck. I just don't know.
It
ain't for me to go out and that's not this. I'm not an athlete. It's the people out there. Their job is to go out and find out who these guys are. But it's some guys. Let me tell you something.
I got a better question for you, Hatter. I got a better question for you. Have it ever been you and another black agent and they chose between you two?
I'll win then.
No, has that ever happened?
Say it again.
Has it ever been a situation where they had two agents to choose from and they both were African American?
Yes.
And may I ask you another question?
Yes.
Have you ever represented a white player, or do white players choose black agents?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. My firm did. I didn't personally. The Birdman. We represented the
He's
Birdman.
kind of black though. Give me another one.
Okay. No.
I'm just saying, like, how about this? I got a better. Is it common for white players to choose black agents?
No.
Wow.
They choosing. Like,
it is a race thing then.
Okay. By Luka Doncic, he is represented by Bill Duffy's firm. But Bill Duffy's firm is and I might be wrong, but I heard it's co-owned with somebody else, and they got a lot of international clients. But Luka Doncic is represented by Bill Duffy. So was Steve Nash, and might be Porzingis. Porzingis also.
No, Chi, you know where I'm going, Chi.
Going on real quick, so we can get to the next topic.
No, I'm saying, well, why is it? So it is a race thing that black players don't choose black agents most times, and white players for sure don't choose black agents. So what is it about black agents that just like there used to be no black quarterbacks? We had to get past that, right? There weren't black coaches. We had to get past that. What is it about black agents?
You tell me.
I'm asking you. You in the business.
I can't tell you. I'm on this side. How can I tell you how people feel about me? They don't ever tell me this. They just talk about us behind our back.
You asked me why there no black coaches. I know why on my side. I know why there ain't no black.
But I don't know. Chris, you're smarter than me.
Boy, you something else. Boy, you tap dancing like you Sammy Davis Jr.
But anyway, guys, as we wrap up this topic before we get to the next one, it's funny to answer the question from the young lady. Of course, the NBPA.com.
Yes.
NBPA.com is the website. If you are interested in calculating how many agents of color versus any other ethnicity, then you can go to that website. I chopped the hell out of that up. But it was funny as hell because I'm looking at the site right now and I see along the list of names, and they have a picture of each agent. So you have a name, it's in alphabetical order. So I scroll down to the P's and I see a Kevin Poston. Then I go a couple of names right below Kevin Poston. I see Andre Prince, who's the son of Jay Prince, and went to Second Baptist High School. He's an agent, and you know he got his first client.
And you should see Miles Poston on there too.
Right below Andre Prince. Say what?
You should see Miles Poston, Miles Poston on there also.
Well, I wasn't going through the whole list. I'm just.
Oh, no, but you was in the P's, nuts.
Hell, I wasn't going through every damn P that I saw. I'm just telling people some three names. You just mentioned the name Alex Poston. I mean, you mentioned Kevin Poston's name a while ago.
Okay.
Why didn't you mention the other person's name a while ago when he asked you about the black agent?
I mean, that ain't what I want, Jimmy.
So my
point, I live this. Yeah. You the one want to read about it.
Hell, a person asked for intel, and I'm providing them intel.
And I gave them. Didn't you just give them intel?
No, Elder, you understand?
Go to the Players Association. They have more information.
Listen, Elder, you're not understanding. Everybody don't know where the Players Association where to go to.
Everybody knows. Google.
No, they don't. What Players Association? They don't know.
Hey, Chris. What the Players Association is what?
Dude, everybody doesn't know what Players Association we're talking about.
The Players Association is what, Jimmy? Ain't it Googleable?
Dude,
Players Association. It's Google.
You didn't say the NBP. It's the website. It's helping people.
Tell you what to tell me to say. You just said that stuff you saying. You
All
can't.
right.
Hey man, listen, man, listen.
Let's move on to the next one.
Hold on, time out. Why is it that every time that Chris and myself are talking today, you're hijacking every damn thing that we're saying, and we let you? I'm purposely look when you talking. Understand something? When you talking, I got this going on. I got a timer. I'm counting how many minutes you're talking.
Guess what? When you talk, I'm not timing you because you talk all the damn time. So I'm not timing you. Shit, I'll be out of time.
No. We need the time. That's what we need the time. This is my last. Listen, David. This is my last show, guys, today. With unless we implement a time system because it's just too fucking crazy. And I'm saying something and missing my whole entire point, and you just hijacked it before I even get to the point. I say below Andre Prince was another name. His name is Alex Pugh. That was my point of saying the whole shit in the first place.
So that what?
So Alex Pugh
now I see why you were so sensitive about it. Okay.
Lord,
show y'all. Get mine too. If I don't have my ball, if I don't get my way, I'm going home.
You goddamn right. That's how I am. You damn right. I'm gonna get my ball and go home. Exactly. So if you know a person is like that, then you do two things.
That ain't my job. I don't have to deal with it.
That's how they go. But then you gotta make a decision. Because I done made my decision.
I got a question.
That's simple.
I got y'all crazy.
Yes, the next time.
Hold on.
Now the next topic.
I'm not timing nobody.
You gotta start the timer. You gotta start the timer. Now the next topic, of course, is we switch gears, and that is the NBA has released their schedule. And the schedule for the NBA was released yesterday. And, as expected, the Lakers have the most games.
Of course.
This season on television.
Mufasa.
The Clippers, I think, are second, right? And the Rockets are third.
I don't know why.
And then New Orleans is fourth, I think, with 20 national game appearances.
Over the Brooklyn Nets.
Wait.
What Brooklyn
really? Nets? Dude, ain't no KD playing this year. Nobody want to see KD sit on the bench.
Hey,
wow.
Chris Walker.
What about the Warriors, TC?
Huh?
What about the Warriors? They got Steph Curry.
Well, the Warriors. I'm sorry, the Warriors are right above the New Orleans. But you got to realize now these Warriors are hindered. Chris, you got to understand. The Warriors are hindered. They're without Clay until December at earliest. So therefore, you have to understand the basketball season starts in October. A lot of people may not realize it. That's 2 months away. The season starts. And one of the things, opening day has the Clippers versus the Lakers. And
where? Oh, it's at the same place. What am I talking about?
Come on now.
And
so now,
hey, I need tickets. You already know. Get that plug.
Now, another thing that the NCAA, the NBA did.
I'm timing Jimmy right now. Keep going.
Another thing that the NBA did was they trimmed down the amount of 10:30 Eastern time starts. And
you mean for West Coast games or what?
Well, for West Coast games. Remember they had those games, the West Coast starting time. They trimmed down those. They trimmed down the back-to-backs. And of course, I think that bottom line, they also trimmed down that said back-to-backs, but I think overall they hit it out. They got it right. They got it right with the schedule, and the timing was perfect for them to implement this and go ahead on and release it right now. While basketball, it seems, is hijacking the conversation of preseason football right now. Every other day, there's something in basketball that's hijacking the conversation. And so you guys can share your thoughts on the
I got one thing to add about the football. What do you feel about Antonio Brown, what he did? He made that big old fuss about I'm quitting. And then they say you can't wear it. He says, I agree. And is there something wrong with him? You tell me. Is he stable or he just a diva? What is wrong with Antonio Brown? I like him, but I think it's something wrong with him.
You are absolutely right. He's a diva. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. I've heard stuff about other players, but this guy is different. I got to keep it short now. But this guy, Antonio Brown, Antonio Brown is different. You got to understand, in college, he was a phenomenal player in college. But his draft grade, they talking about he's a problem. College. That's why he got drafted low. At Pittsburgh, at his pro team, Ryan Clark came on TV, and so he said he told the management, if you give that dude some money, you gonna have problems out of this cat. So
Whoa, he said that?
Yes, Brian Clark told him.
Wasn't he his teammate?
Huh?
He was his teammate, wasn't he?
That was his teammate. And also last year, when it was a game left and Pittsburgh needed to win this game to get in the playoffs, he showed up with a mink coat on the sideline. He didn't practice all week. Then gonna call them the day of and tell them I can practice. I can play. That's a policy. If you don't practice on Thursday, you can't play.
Wow.
So this the guy, now he's over here. He said he went over to France.
I saw that.
Got his feet messed up in the cryo chamber.
Right.
In the cryotherapy chamber. And now he's talking about he don't want to wear the helmet. You tell me, is that diva-ish or not?
There's something wrong with that dude, man.
Well, I mean, well, we knew that already with Antonio Brown. We saw that. We knew that. It's just that he's a hell of a talent. And at some point in time, remember, that's with everybody. Once the talent is no longer greater than the problem, or once, then you're going to become expendable. And he was the perfect team.
I got a list for both of y'all, Chris.
What's that?
A list of the players who've caught 100 yards 6 years straight. Are they first 6 years? 6 years in a row.
How many of them? I name them. Let me name them. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Julio Jones.
No.
The guy Green in Cincinnati.
I'm finna help you. I'm finna help you right now. Antonio Brown. That's it.
Oh, wow.
The history that had 100 coaches, 100 catches in 6 consecutive years. Nobody has ever did it. One man.
Got a great, but he played for a good quarterback though. That don't count.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
But what does that mean? Now let me ask you a question. Here's just something to say about this. Why he's crazy. When he played for a brother up in Pittsburgh, he acted like a knucklehead, right?
Yeah.
He playing for John Gruden. We just talked about John Gruden was the same guy on Hard Knocks. That's the one kid. Now the kid came from, I just found out last night, he was the Last Chance U dude.
Yes.
And he cut him just like that.
Yes.
But yet he's letting this dude, Antonio Brown, do what he's doing. What does that say?
Jimmy gonna answer that one. Jimmy,
what
what's your
does
favorite
that
word?
say, Jimmy? And that's crazy to me.
What's your favorite phrase? When you're production. What's that? When you're
Production and tolerance.
Yes.
Production and tolerance. You see what happened to Dez Bryant? You see what happened to Dez Bryant?
Speaking of Dez, I mean, of course, Dez is still recovering from that Achilles injury, and he announced the other day in the interview that if and when he hopes to become healthy enough to return this season is highly unlikely. But
highly unlikely.
I mean, and depending on how his body heals, I mean, he's definitely his frame is pretty damn good, kind of like Terrell Owens type of frame. So depending on how he heals after this injury, and if so, he says that the first team that he's going to call will be the New Orleans Saints because they took a chance on him last year and signed him.
Tell him good luck. Good luck. It's not going to happen. And I want to know one player that's come back from an Achilles heel injury and been affected. I like to know that guy in the history of sports that's come back from an Achilles heel. Huh?
Chris, I got one for you. Please.
No, don't say Dominique Wilkins either.
No, because you're an East Coast guy. I want you to help me with this one. I'm not East Coast guy, but you got East Coast flavor. Ex-NBA Sebastian Telfair sentenced to 3.5 years in prison.
What'd he do? He from Brooklyn.
Chris, you don't know what he did?
No, what'd he do?
Second-degree criminal possessions of weapons, which stem from an arrest in January 2017.
Yeah, you can't carry guns up here.
They found firearms, semi-automatic rifle, ammunition, ballistic vest, and marijuana inside his vehicle when he was driving in a traffic stop in New York City. And
what the hell?
Yes, I thought you saw that.
And that just happened?
Huh?
It's amazing.
They just got sentenced. Yeah. Now you remember the reason I brought it up. This was a kid that was on the cover of Slam magazine back then with LeBron. He came straight out of high school.
He did.
Right? And look at his life now.
Made a bunch of money and was a sneaker dude too.
Yes.
Made a bunch of money from I want to say Adidas, right, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Telfair was Adidas kid, and then ended up playing overseas. I mean, it was
played the league about 7 years though, didn't he?
I mean, but understand, out of high school, he was projected. He was the next one. He came out in 2004, a year after LeBron James. So that during that era, back in the early 2000s, Telfair was it coming out of the East Coast. I mean, ended up like this, but guess what? I mean, for Telfair, I'm not sure if it's federal court or state court, but if it's state court, whatever it is, either one, Telfair, he's going to be all right. I mean, it ain't like he can. It didn't hinder his basketball career. He's done playing. He will be revered as a hero when he get up in there. Trust me, he'll live like a king wherever he is.
Why is he going to jail, Jimmy? What are you talking about?
I mean, hell, they can't reverse that, but now you got to accept the circumstances and deal with it. So dealing with it moving forward, he's going to be a king in there.
In jail?
In jail, you have kings in jail. He will be a king in jail.
Well, this is what I will say about the gun stuff. Isn't it funny in our country right now with the NRA and everything we're talking about, that the guy that they loving this. You had it laughing. They loving this. Tell the NRA to stand up for Sebastian Telfair right now. Tell them to do that.
Right now. Did some more. Hey, Chris, he did some more stuff.
I'm sure he did, but they talk about gun charge.
They talking about gun charge. Yeah, but he was threatening some people too. His ex-girlfriend, I think he threatened her a few times. So, and she testified against it. So,
wow.
There's a lot of stuff went into that trial. Okay. It's just not.
You cannot carry guns. It's not open carry in New York. You cannot carry guns up here.
You remember Plexico Burrs?
That's why I was about to go there. When he shot himself
in the club with his own gun.
With his own gun. And went to jail. Ain't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so next up we have Dak Prescott. It came, of course, on yesterday we mentioned the news about him reportedly turning down $30 million. We incorrectly said Josina had broke that news. I was joking when I said that. My bad. It was Michael Lombardi from The Athletic who actually broke the news, and is obviously one thing about when people break news of such, if it's not true, trust me, the organization or the player will immediately push back and take a stance and grab a microphone somewhere to counter the accusation. Nobody has said it ain't true about the Dak Prescott and the $30 million. So now Michael Lombardi has doubled down and saying that Dak is seeking somewhere in the neighborhood of $40 million a year, which is why he turned down the 30.
Oh, not a year.
Yes.
A year? No. You mean over the contract? You said a year.
On the average.
That can't be right, Hannah. $40 million a year. He not asked for $40 million. Is he?
Why would he not? $40 million on a year on average. Okay, look here. Russell Westbrook just got $140 million extension on 4 years, right? Then the thing was, it ain't Russell Westbrook.
Won a Super Bowl.
It ain't Russell Westbrook. It's Carson Wentz who's the problem in this equation. Carson Wentz for the Eagles, $128 million extension that he got. It was over, I think, is it 3 years or 4 years? One of the two. 3 or 4 years.
Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, which one was it?
What you mean?
His extension.
It was about that. It was about that much.
It's 3 or 4 years.
He got about 60 $67 million in guarantees.
So what is that?
Carson Wentz going to get
$40 million a year. That out of his mind.
Well, so here's what I did. So I on this part I just kind of did a little extra, walked an extra mile on this story, and I'm trying to find the why. Why not the $30 million and where the number the 40 come, why? So here's what I found, and digging a little deeper is they based it off this Carson Wentz because Dak Prescott has more wins, more yards, more completion percentages, more yards per attempt, more fourth quarter comebacks, and has not missed a single game since he's been in the league these 3 years. In his career. Now, Carson Wentz ain't played but one complete season, and he's getting that extension, which it averages out to about 32, something like that a year. So they saying, well, guess what? And people try to throw Matt Ryan into the equation, and Matt Ryan, of course, he's like a 5th paid quarterback. But at the time that he got his money, Carson Wentz wasn't making more than him. Russell Wilson wasn't making more than Matt Ryan at that time. So it's going to be an evolution, an ongoing process of frogs jumping over frogs as far as the salaries. But in this situation, when I'm not mistaken, and how you can check and confirm, Carson Wentz's guaranteed money. Put it like this: Russell Wilson's guaranteed money is like $107 million, guaranteed over that $140 million contract. 107 guaranteed. Well, Carson Wentz's agent was cold enough to make his guarantee like 107 point. Right? It was 107.7. Whatever it is, measurably, it's going to be more guaranteed a little bit more than Russell Wilson. So how do you think Dak Prescott feels? That's what's fueling it. So that's his why.
I'm about to say, Chris, I'm finna help you, Chris.
Help me out, because I don't think Dak should get that money.
What's about to happen is, and Dak knows this, they about to give this kid Pat Mahomes a $200 million contract.
Ooh-wee.
That's what's about to happen, okay? So Dak knows I better get all I can right now, because ain't nothing I can do, because this freight train is coming. Pat Mahomes finna be the first $200 million man in NFL.
So why do you think Dak Prescott is worth that money?
No, ain't none of them worth it. It's not how much you're worth, it's how much you can negotiate.
That's true. So
ain't
why?
None of them worth it. None of them worth it.
I mean, they got salary cap. They got to pay the money to somebody, right?
But is Jeff Bezos worth $100 billion? I mean, if Bernard Arnault worth $100 billion? No, it ain't worth it. That's it. It's got it. That's what the market is paying, Chris. If that's what the market is paying, yes, of course he got it. It's his time.
In there, Heather, to you. I add something in there as well. And it's something that a lot of people may be reluctant to think about. And that is Dak Prescott, remember now, he's still in his rookie deal, right? Adam?
Yes.
He's in his rookie. So this year he's only making $2 million this year, man.
2.1.
So whatever he gets, an extension, let's say for safe math, let's say his extension was, let's say 4 years at $5 million apiece for safe math. Well, this year is $2 million. That's really getting a 5-year deal at $22 million. That's not a 4-year deal averaging $5 million a year, because for Dak Prescott, even though I understand he's due to play this rookie year, but he only getting $2 million. So that's why he wants the 40 instead of a 30, because at least it'll feel like you're getting paid $10 million this year. And
Jimmy, that's you can't look at it like that. He was on this rookie deal. He wasn't a top pick. Zeke right now, the one who's
he's a 4th round.
He making $8.9 million this year. So Zeke then got some money. Dak Prescott, let me tell you something. If you notice the teams in the league that's winning, their quarterbacks are on their rookie deals, or their quarterback is willing to take a deal a la Tom Brady and Drew Brees. When you can get your starting quarterback, and you got a chance to make a playoff push with your quarterback under his rookie deal, and everybody under the top players on their rookie deal, that's how you win. Because like when Dak get all this money that he asking for, guess what? The Dallas Cowboys are not going to be as good, Chris Walker. So you
Why is that?
get you because you're not be able to pay the rest of the players.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
See, they got a hard cap.
Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?
Chris, they got
why are you doing that? Why are you doing that to Chris Walker right now? Why are you doing that? You know he's a Cowboy fan. Well, you can't.
No, I didn't mean to do that, Chris.
I'm not a Dak Prescott fan, so you're not a Cowboy fan. Chris, I'm not a Dak Prescott fan.
Chris, think about this, Chris. Unlike the NBA got a salary cap, but don't nobody pay attention to that salary cap, right?
They don't. No, they don't.
The NFL, they got a hard cap. That's all they can pay. So whatever your quarterback,
but they don't have a luxury tax, Hatter?
No. They got a hard cap. If this how much I got to pay, I forgot what it is. I don't want to give out the wrong number because everybody be fact checking me. But it's over 100 million a year. Over 100 million. How about 160, 70, right in that area? So he got to fit. They got to fit all 53 players under that cap.
Let me ask you a question. Does the upfront money have something to do with the cap? So if I'm gonna pay you $100 million and I give you $7 million up front, does that have something to do with the cap?
In the famous words of Jimmy Hicks, bingo.
Does it or not? I don't know. Does it?
No, not all the time. They prorate it. Like if I give you $60 million up front, it's not all for that 1 year. I can space it out for them 5 years that I'm giving you them deals on. You remember? I can stretch it out to them 5 years. So
I'm saying, but the upfront money is not stretched out in the 5 years.
No. On my books, you get your money, but I get I'm gonna get a cap hit in those 5 years and spread it out. Instead of me getting $60 million hit out of my salary cap in 1 year, I can stretch it out over those 5 years.
But the player gets his 60 up front though.
The player get his money. No. He don't get it all at one time.
Why not? I thought he said up front.
No, but it's guaranteed to him. If he get hurt, he don't get it because their payment structure. They ain't gonna just write you a check for $66 million.
Why not?
They're gonna give you 20 here, 30 here. It's according to how much y'all negotiate. When it's a payment plan. They don't give you the money all at once. It's in a plan.
If that's the case, how these dudes going broke then? If they structuring it like that, how these dudes going broke then? If they structure it like that, when they give it to them over years like that,
ain't too many dudes with deals like that going broke for Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson, hey, see, y'all keep forgetting about going broke. When you factor into gambling in the equation,
gambling.
I don't think y'all factor in gambling. A lot of these guys gamble. When you're rich and got a lot of money, you take chances and you gamble. Okay? What if, let's say, he went to Vegas and lost $5 million in Vegas? In real dollars, that's almost $8 million because of the tax situation. So every time I lose $5, and Allen Iverson lost a lot of money out there. What's his name? Antoine Walker lost a lot of money. You know, when you sit up there and say, how can he spend all this money? You don't know his habits. You don't know his habits. So I'm just letting you know.
And now speaking of in NFL news, also still staying in NFL, the New England Patriots are expected to offer free parking options this year. And if you've ever been to a game, speaking of the Cowboys, if you've ever been to one of the Cowboys games, it costs upwards of nearly $100 per car to park. And
we sell it out every game.
Guess who get that money, Jimmy?
Jerry Jones. JJ.
Jerry.
And old Mike.
I mean, I got an apology. Jimmy, remind me, I got an apology I got to give to Chris Broussard. You know, I chopped him up the other day, right?
Yeah.
Y'all remember I chopped him up? I'm apologizing to him today, man, because he came back and explained a lot of stuff that he was talking about. Because I was in his head.
Talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. See, what I had to learn, even with Jimmy, I don't agree with everything that nobody say, really. We agree hardly on nothing. But me, Chris Broussard, Jimmy, Chris Walker, we all care about our community. And when I listened to him again this morning, he was on some podcast, and he just talked about this thing. He said it's a process. I didn't mean for it to, literally, that it can happen about the athletes just leaving, going to. You remember my problem was with him when he talked about it was racism, and he said he went off about that. You know what I learned? Even Jason Whitlock, Jimmy, I done learned I got to be a little more understanding, you know, because I'm proud of him. You know why I'm proud of him? And I know this gonna sound crazy coming from me. When I watch that show, I tape it every day. I watch that show. He is responsible for all them brothers being on that show. Used to play for the Rockets.
Damon Jones.
Not Damon Jones. The lefty. From the lefty from the East Coast. Steve Francis, a running mate.
Oh, Catino
Mobley. Those guys. A lot of guys that be on that show, if y'all watching, I know a lot of y'all.
Yeah.
I found out he is responsible for bringing those guys on that show.
What is the point you're making? What are you talking about? Because I don't remember.
The point I'm making is I think that we can use a lot more of that in our community.
No, I'm saying what happened, Hatter. Like what happened? Because I don't remember.
Oh, you don't remember what he did?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What are you responding
to? He came on and said the Chris Paul, what is his name? The Rich Paul rule.
Oh.
He came on talking about it was racism, that all the black players need to go to HBCU. See, I'm sorry, Chris. I thought you was on the show that day. All the black colleges and all the black players, instead of Kevin Durant giving his money to Texas, he should have been giving that money to the HBCU. He was just going on and on and on and on and on and on. But the day he explained it, it'd be a process. He understands that black institutions, a lot of those black institutions have mishandled money. So he gave a solution. Hold up. No. But he gave a solution. Because guess what? It's a black college athlete called me the day after that and said, Hatter, I went to Grambling and I didn't have a great experience at Grambling. HBCUs ain't for everybody. He said it. He said, my son probably couldn't handle it at no HBCU. It's grimy at an HBCU. He said a lot of people, he said, why should I send my son where they got, not send my son where they got better doctors, better care, and better care. I mean,
think about what you're saying.
I'm just telling you.
But think about what you're saying, though. Think about what you're saying. Okay. Right? Think about separate but equal, Plessy versus Ferguson.
Okay.
Right? What they said was, you know what? As long as we got the same thing, it ain't got to be the same quality. We got black universities, white universities. Think about segregation, integration. They got so much more money at these other universities. They can do. If Grambling had the same, first of all, think about the college scandal. Was Grambling one of those? Was Texas another one of those college admission scandals?
Nope.
People giving millions of dollars to get their kids in school. Grambling had all kind of issues because guess what? I want to know how many of them black athletes give money back to that school. If you really want to check them, let's find out, because black athletes don't give money to nothing. How many of those guys give money? Hold on. How many of them guys give money, black people in general, give money back to their universities because a lot of the problems they have because they don't have money. Well, they mishandle money. White schools mishandle money too. What are you talking about? We don't have money. Them schools don't have money, man. Thinking about mishandling nickels. They ain't mishandling millions. So I disagree with them coming back and saying, well, I want to walk it back. No, don't walk it back. Tell the government to give those black universities money and give them big gyms, give them big stadiums, and then the black athletes will want to go there. They don't want to go there because the facilities are terrible. They're not in big conferences.
But Chris,
you know, like I know, if those black kids went to those black schools, you know what will happen. They do not want that to happen. Ever.
Okay.
You know that.
Jimmy, you went to a black college. What you think?
I mean, on which part of the conversation? Because
that's crazy to me.
Any way you want to go with it, because Chris took it somewhere that I didn't. He didn't let me finish, but keep going. But I'm not gonna get mad, Chris. I'm not gonna get mad at you.
Get mad at me.
Come on, Jim.
Bye back.
Chris. But then, of course, Chris, you went to Villanova, and Adam went to.
Adam went to HBU.
The HBCU experience.
I can't stand
outside of the
boy,
campus.
I can't stand it.
I mean, the HBCU experience, of course, is not for everybody. That's like college is not for everybody. But at the same time, one thing about an HBCU, you don't enter into an HBCU unaware of what the culture is there. You don't go there blindly, fall into that backwards, saying, well, and be surprised. Whoa, they're stepping like this, or whoa, they're doing it. That's not the unknown. So I think that nowadays a lot of I think that taking it and running with it from what Chris you just said. Mm-hmm. In basketball, you've been at the Power 5 schools. You've been at Villanova, Texas Tech, Cal, right? How many HBCUs did you guys schedule to play basketball games against to help stimulate their economy and give them money?
They're guaranteed games. They're guaranteed games.
How many did you schedule?
I mean, only a couple. We didn't play many of those. I mean, now you can't play that many because they hurt your scheduling.
Georgetown played 5 last year.
Don't get me started. Okay, again, and he needed to get some wins.
Started on what?
Don't get me started on that kind of stuff. That's ridiculous.
University of Houston played about 4 of them a year ago.
Well, they needed to get wins. They're trying to get their program off the ground. It's also
they won 33 games.
Hey, y'all trying to get y'all program off the ground.
No, we won't play black colleges. We ain't doing it. Hey, here's the other thing, Adam. Hey, Adam, here's the other thing you got to realize. Most of those black colleges in the South come all the way to California. That's a heck of an expense. There ain't no black colleges on the West Coast. People don't know that. None on the West. They're all in the South, in the Southeast. That's a lot of money to get those teams to fly out there.
Is that what's the reason for that? Because the California was more liberal before the South was, and they allowed the blacks to go in those colleges out there?
I just don't know why they don't. Maybe because there were more blacks populated in the South when they built black colleges, land grant universities, and they put them in the South because the South was more populated back then. That's all I can say. You talking about Booker T. Washington? You talking about a long time ago when Howard and all those schools and Morris Brown and Spelman, all those schools were built. And I'm not completely educated enough to say that, but there are no. That's why you go to some of these schools. California, they want a black experience. They got to go to the South. That's why you watch some of these older movies when these black kids like, well, I want to be around my people. They didn't have Jim Crow up in California. And as soon as they went to the South, they're like, man, what's going on here? Jackie Robinson, if you saw that movie, with his wife said, what you mean separate restroom? They didn't have that in California. Mm-hmm. So when kids want to have that experience, it's different. I'll digress by saying this. It's amazing. I'm not Chris Broussard, whatever, on television.
If you had to let me finish.
Well, go finish that part, because I got another point. Finish that point.
No, it's too late. It's too late.
I want you to finish, because I want to say something else and wrap it up. Come back to something else. Finish the last part.
Have you ever heard of this term? And Jimmy, I want you to comment too, called the cancel, not cancer, cancer culture. You ever heard of that term?
C-A-N-C-E-R?
You cancel, C-A-N-C-E-L. Cancel.
Cancel. culture.
And I'm gonna help you out. It's that if you don't agree, if I don't agree with you on a certain issue, then I'm just gonna write everything else you say. I don't want to listen to nothing else you say.
Right.
Somebody sent me Jimmy, this is a mailbag about this. And I was just explaining to him back and forth that I like to hear all viewpoints. You know, I'm going to be right, I'm going to be wrong on some points, but I'm better off listening to all people. But he gave me a thing. He said, and you probably have heard this before. He said, white people can disagree on 99 things and agree on one and work together to get that one thing done. Black people, so black dude said this now. He said, black people can agree on 99 things and disagree on one, and then they just don't want to work together. What do y'all think about that?
I mean, not when it comes to politics. They can't use that word when it comes to politics. Don't even try to go there. And that's just a blank. That's a cute statement. That's a cute statement, right? I'm not saying I wouldn't whitewash everything like that, but I would agree with some merit to that. Is that the other part of what you're saying about Chris Broussard, about what he said?
Yes.
So here's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my thing. When you talk about poor neighborhoods and people of color, Jimmy, help me out here. You know where we come from. People of color, our neighborhoods. And you know that we have schools that are dilapidated. You got the university, you got Yates High School. Look what they did, went back and rebuilt Yates. Yates got 900 kids at that school. You go out to Cy-Fair, you go out to Katy, they got kids with 3,000 students. Am I right, Jimmy?
Yeah, they do.
Neighborhoods,
And
right? Or more. And they popping up every day. They popping up every day. And my thing is, when you're talking about, well, black people mishandle money too, so I really don't want to go there. I'm like, well, hold on. White agents mishandle money, but that don't make y'all go start having black agents. I don't get that. So what you saying? So because Grambling has mishandled money, you're gonna make it eat. You're gonna level it out and say, well, this should make it. I'm sorry because I shouldn't have. I should take that comment back because black people handle money incorrectly. Like, are you serious?
More than that, Chris. Chris, I want to ask you a question because I want just to help you, not just to help you. Agents don't hound people's money.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know.
Financial planners. Financial planners.
But you said, I'm just telling you.
Correct me.
Everybody, we got a listening audience here. They might.
You know what I mean. You can correct me. Financial guys.
All right.
Financial guys. But you get my point though.
Oh, I get your point. I get your point wholeheartedly.
That's why I take with you with Chris Broussard. Like, yo, man, don't come back here. Don't walk it back. Don't walk it back.
Okay. I'm gonna show you why he said that, Jimmy. Because I want you to get in on him, Jim. He said he talked about a friend of his, athlete, who was about to donate $2 million to a university. But he requested open accounting with where the money's going. And the institution turned him down. I don't know how true it is. This is what he said. They requested remember I said open accounting to where this money's going, and the university turned him down.
Talking about the African American University.
African American, HBCU.
But I know universities that if you say, I only want to give money to this, they say, no, you can't do that. And they're not African American. No, you can't do it that way. This is how you got to give it. You're like, what?
But this time we're talking about guys who really, really need the money. Texas don't need no money.
That's true.
Texas don't need no money.
Well, we should call that school out there. What school was it? Tell them to call it out. Let's find out why. Because let's attack the issue instead of dancing around it. Because maybe we can help some other HBCU and say, yeah, man, that's really not the way to do it. Because how about this? I don't know if that's
a question. Okay.
What's that?
Jimmy, what did you think about Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre giving $70 million between them to USC?
Say, what did I think about it?
Yes.
I mean, I don't have a problem with a person where they decide to give in their money. But if a person is because I don't know the extent of what the other donations are. I mean, if Dr. Dre has never given to an HBCU, I still wouldn't be necessarily upset with him, but because of the fact that how many HBCUs were around the area of which he grew up. So understanding the culture of the HBCUs, and a lot of people may not understand. I mean, most HBCUs were established in the South, and as a means, because back in the South, a lot of black folk couldn't go to those white institutions. So that was one of the main primary reasons that they were established, and this was before the the 60s and stuff like that. Of course, slavery was back in 1865, and so that's 100 years later. That's a century later. And I understand the thing is with HBCUs is different parts of the country have a different ideology and understanding of them. What do you expect much from a lot of those guys from the West Coast or the deep or the North to interpret about our HBCUs down in this part in the SWAC? We're in SWAC country. You're not supposed, unless they went out of their way to do their homework, or it's one of they ain't them.
They don't have black history. They don't have black history in California. They don't have black history.
Okay, so in Black History Month, what school is going to teach them about that?
I'm just asking. Compton High School is all black. It ain't white. What you talking about?
And you know they're going to learn about in Black History Month? They're going to learn about the Compton riots. They're going to learn about the LA riots, and they're going to learn about Rodney King.
They're going to learn about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. That's where everybody teach.
Yeah, of course.
Well, let me ask you a question, Jimmy. Let me ask you a question, and I want to piggyback. I want to have to jump in too. You said Dr. Dre gave $70 million. Hey, I don't have a problem with Dr. Dre doing that. But who made Dr. Dre famous?
35. Him and Jimmy Iovine.
Who made Dr. Dre famous? Who made Dr. Dre famous when he came out? Who made gangster rap famous? Who made Dr. Dre what he was and got him started?
I mean, the fans bought the records.
Black people buy his stuff.
Now don't get it twisted now. At that time, now remember now, Chris, during that time when the NWA, they kind of crossed over. And that's when a lot of people
later. Jimmy, we all time crossover mean we buy it first, then you cross over. Crossover mean you jump over and come back. Crossover mean we buy it first, like Jackson 5s. We buy it, then they buy it. Not that they don't buy it, then we buy it. It don't work that way. So we made them popular first. Then he went over to the other side. Does that make sense?
Well, in a sense, you can argue that or debate that and run with it. I mean, that's not crazy, absurd. Yeah, you can, but I don't have the numbers in front of me to counter that. But I do know that around the time when F the Police came out, white folk were saying that too. Not with the same angst that black folks said.
But he wrote the song because he come up from a neighborhood where the Los Angeles police was bearing down, and those dudes in the hood were the guys that, I mean, he can give his money to whoever he want. All I'm saying is what I don't want to come out of this argument is we shouldn't give money to black colleges because they mishandle funds. And that levels out, and that stops people from saying, well, that makes sense to me, so we shouldn't give them money then. Like, come on, man. Yeah, how about black folks don't even give money to universities? Let's talk about that stuff, Jimmy.
Well, I understand. Listen, not at the same wavelength or the same magnitude that a Kevin Durant is giving the UT. No, or it's not. But at the same time, we see what you're talking about now is a nationwide conversation that's pretty much taboo among black folk, and that is the art of giving back. Giving back, it starts at a very young age of, they say to use the term brainwashing, but not necessarily brainwashing, but breaking them consciously aware that if I gave you $1, that you're going to save a dime. Every kid would understand that. Then if you had to come back and tell that kid at the end of the month, if you have 10 dimes, I'm going to give you $2 more. That means I'm going to of your income, some type of action. That's just one way of which to get young people on course of what it means to save. Now, if you can give back, the term of giving back we're talking about is giving back resources, giving back money. You can't give back money if you don't save money or don't have money accumulated. So that's one thing. Now, giving back in another facet is giving back your time, which is part of your resources, because time is money to a lot of people. Well, guess what? We're not. Just collectively, we don't stamp on the foreheads or in the hearts of our young people the art of giving back. When Chris, you coached summer basketball 2 separate times in Houston. How many times did you get your summer team and take them down to the soup kitchen or to the Salvation Army?
Why has that got to be a form? Why is that the only form of giving back? We're not talking about that.
But that's a
wealth creation.
Chris, but if you do that one time, they're never going to forget it as long as they live. And you don't know what it can do to take a kid to see those people, because a lot of those people that are home, that are in those soup kitchens, that's what they called them back in the days, they have degrees. A lot of those people had accumulated success, and somehow they failed. But the art of giving back.
That's not the only way to give back, Jimmy. That's not the only way to give back.
No. Giving back your time or giving back your money. That's what people go to. So the element of one comes before the other. You have way more time than you do money.
Yeah, but a lot of those people throw money and stuff so they don't have to give their time. So I disagree with you. So they don't have to be in that stuff. They get their money, so you can say, oh yeah, such gave money, because they don't want to be there. That's absentee giving. That's what that is. So what I'm saying is, I agree with you in one sense, but what we're talking about is Dr. Dre giving. He asked me, what did I think about Dr. Dre giving $35 million to USC? I said, damn, why you didn't give $5 million to Southern? Some of them people at them schools made Dr. Dre and bought his albums. That's all I'm telling you. So to me, that would have been a smart thing to do.
I mean,
he probably want his name on the building or something. He probably want his name on a building. Probably.
I mean, maybe so, maybe not. You know,
he didn't go to USC. He didn't go to USC.
No, but he grew up in that community.
No, he did.
That USC,
no, he didn't go to USC is what I'm saying. He didn't go to USC. He didn't go to USC.
But he didn't go there. He grew up around USC.
So what's the conversation that we're having? All I'm saying is, I'm going to go back to this, Hatter. We said that black people, I'm just saying that why can't blacks, we're talking about wealth creation, we're talking about giving back to our own. I got no problem giving money to USC. Give money whoever you want to give it to. All I'm saying is, if the narrative has said Dr. Dre gave money to Southern, Texas Southern, and PV and USC, what would people be saying today? That's all I'm saying, Hatter. What would they say, Hatter?
I'm just enjoying y'all's conversation.
I got a better one, Hatter. Your boy
Robert Smith. I got the clock on y'all.
I don't do clocks. How about your boy Robert Smith and what he did at Morehouse? Was it Morehouse?
Yes.
And what did he go to school?
Cornell.
And what did he do?
At Harvard.
And what did he do?
What at Cornell or at the
at that graduation.
Oh, he relieved the debt of every graduating senior. 400 young men graduated from Morehouse in the 2019 class without student loan debt.
So he didn't go to that. He didn't go to those schools.
He did not.
He did not. But he knows. He knows they need a head start. Right or wrong?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not besmirching Dr. Dre. I'm just saying he knows when people need a head start. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the same head start that the other culture get all the time.
But Chris, when you agree, it's a process. We got to get out of our mindset. Everybody don't think like Robert F. Smith.
I bet you took him a while to get there.
And this same guy, he donated. That's going to add up to about 40 million, but he donated 50 or 60 million to Cornell and had it earmarked for African American STEM students. Okay, he earmarked it. In other words, I got a staff that's going to overlook it, and guess what he said? We're just not going to get students from the New York area. I want you to comb the country to find the top athletes that benefit. Students of color. African Americans, not of color, African Americans to benefit from my gift.
I got
you. And so, Chris, and in closing this topic, we get on to the next topic. Okay. Dr. Dre, you mentioned why didn't he give like $5 million to Southern or to HBCU? Yeah. Well, okay, this wasn't a similar concept if he grew up in Compton, which of course he no longer lives. and let's say Compton, the percentage of the population in Compton is minority, 100%, well 99% minority, right? Well,
Right.
what if Dr. Dre was to go and say, well, I donate to build a brand new Compton High School, a state of the art with music department and all this stuff in Compton High School. I'll fund this project.
Yep. Probably did.
Wouldn't that okay, but so instead of going through the HBCU, that's his HBCU in LA. So Dr. Dre has indeed committed $10 million to rebuild the Compton High School, which is set to open up in 2020, next year.
All with it.
So I mean, now it kind of adds, so that way it adds understanding, so it ain't just Dr. Dre Bash Day. So he did hear the pleas, and that came after a lot of people applied that backlash to him after they saw them donate the $70 million or pledge $70 million to USC. So Dr. Dre is just like we mentioned earlier with the NCAA. Dr. Dre heard that. And
he should have heard it because those people made him who he was, man. He should have heard it. They bought his records. They got him up out the hood. There's a lot of dudes that are rapping and don't get out the hood. They bought his records. They got him out the hood. Guess what? Give back. Pookie, you owe. Like you always say, Pookie, you owe.
And this school, Compton, just for the record, so you understand how poor Compton High School was just 5 years ago, right? 5 years ago, only of the students were proficient above in reading and just 6% in math in that whole entire school. That's how bad it was at Compton High School.
So what the money gonna do? What the money gonna do? I don't get it. So what the money gonna do? How the money gonna change that?
You say
They gonna have a new room with air conditioning so they can get 7%. What the money gonna do?
Oh man, it's like saying, think about it like this. Hey, let's think about it like this. Look at Jack Yates High School. You was in the halls of Jack Yates High School, but you didn't get the full tour of the second story. When they're I mentioned yesterday, they're the only school in the country that has a full-scale TV station, radio station, and a recording studio in that school. Well, I'm sure since Dr. Dre is in multimedia business, that Compton High School is going to have a multimedia center, because $10 million, of course, cost of living in California is a lot higher than in Texas, but you can build a nice piece of school for $10 million.
Well, how's that going to change what's going on there? You said they're deficient, right, of the way they're scoring and testing. How is that going to change things?
Well, it's like this, Chris. If it's anything, I go outside and get in my car. I don't know about you guys, but some days, if my car is clean, it feels like it drives better. If my school building is new, then guess what? It feels like I'm embracing the teachings more, and that's just a way of life. So this is a brand new school. It eliminates, and no matter what, that ain't the excuse no more. And as I looked at Yates the other day, great facility over there now.
I do feel better with my house clean.
That too.
I do walk around. It feels a lot nicer. So you got a point there.
Now I said the school will be finished in 2020. They're going to break ground in 2020, and it will have a state-of-the-art performing arts complex. Will be part of that school building. But like I said, only time will tell. But man, I'm telling you, if you look clean, that don't mean necessarily you're gonna win, but you're gonna feel like it in the layup line.
Are they gonna get better? Are they gonna get better teachers? Are they gonna get better teachers? Are they gonna pay the teachers
Chris
more?
Walker.
I'm just asking. You're asking how they gonna learn. If they
That's not up to Dr. Dre.
What?
That's not up to Dr. Dre to do, to get them better teachers. That's not his department. His department to get them better teachers.
But Jimmy, it was rumored that the reason Dr. J gave that gift to get his daughter in college.
To get him at USC.
Yeah, that's why she went to USC.
Oh, you know what? And people, he got more backlash. Remember, he got more backlash after that. Yeah, it absolutely did. So I mean, guess what? The thing is, and the only thing that I want to go and land this topic is that we have to go and start somewhere. as far as the accountability factor of others that are your allies, to let them know, not after the fact, no, but before it even come around, about giving back. Say right now, hey man, look, for Christmas, or before Christmas, won't you go and do this? Go and take a trip over here. Let's go and go to the corner. I mean, we have to. If we don't install it, where in the hell do you expect the kids to learn to give back from? So what, you wait they get their money, and you didn't ignore them all this time. You wait they get their bread, then you say, well, come on, give back, man, till it's down the street. It don't. Come on, man, them dudes are gone. They're like, man, I don't live that no more. And you have to realize, every step of the way up the ladder of success, there's somebody educating a person, letting them know what the ways that they should not spend some of that money. They're gonna tell, like them athletes, when they get to the rookie symposiums, they're gonna tell them, look, your cousin gonna want to start a new business. You know, Pookie gonna want to go and get some new lawn, what they call it, the medicinal business going on. They're gonna tell you that. Look, you got to say no. They're gonna tell those kids how to say no. And giving back, we see guys like Joseph Young. I can say with my own eyes, I'm seeing Joseph Young. I don't give a damn if he's not in the NBA right now. He could be playing for the K-Swiss All-Stars. I don't care. That young man he understands the element of giving back. Damian Dotson, he came and he gave back to his people. His school, both of them went to Yates High School. But I mean, those once you know how to get, you have it, it's in your heart, and it's gonna be there. But some people hadn't even been exposed to it yet. That's all I'm saying.
I feel you. I'm gonna leave it there.
So now we shift gears. I was gonna save this topic till Wednesday, but I just can't.
Coach,
Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner.
No, it's
Taco
you hungry? Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. Hey, Chris Walker, what day is it, Chris? What day is it?
Taco Tuesday?
Oh, that's right. I ain't gonna ask Jimmy. Jimmy's gonna be like Savannah. I ain't gonna say it.
No, why you gotta use an accent with it? That's why, in representation of my Latino community that I'm married into. Why you gotta use an accent?
Okay. It's Taco Tuesday.
What happened? Tell me what happened.
So now, Brittany Griner, the suspensions has been handed down after the squabble in the WNBA over the weekend, which Brittany Griner went after the rookie. Remember the rookie from Notre Dame?
Oh, Breonna Taylor.
Inique.
Team is of African descent, right? So her and Brittany Griner got into a squabble. Well, and she did the right thing by backpedaling up out of that. You know, wasn't gonna you're talking about a foot difference between the two almost. So Brittany Griner was suspended for only 3 games. After all of that.
That was a terrible fight. She missed everybody she hit. She swung at.
She hit nobody?
She's been suspended for the season? What do you think should have happened?
She didn't do nothing.
This is not Brittany Griner's first, brush. But maybe on the court. No, not even on the court. You know, she had a squabble before on the court. But I just, this doesn't, know what? I'm not mad at it because now it lets me know WNBA they're going to tolerate it. Y'all can get your squabble on. The worst case scenario would be 3 games. That's the worst case.
Well, they only play like 20 games, don't they? They don't have a long schedule. You can't suspend them for too many games.
Hey, man.
What else?
You going to lay off them women, man.
How many games they play in the WNBA? So 3 games may be the equivalent of 15 games in the NBA.
Something like that.
I'm looking at it right now.
Hey, man.
Come on, man.
Now, next topic, we go in the mailbag right now. We go up in the mailbag and get some topics. We'll talk recruiting. Recruiting. Chris Walker, we got you live on the line right now. While Hatters pulling up something, I asked you the question to start this thing off, and that is, as a college coach, after the events from last month, the live events, How would a prospect know if their offer is still on the table right now in August?
Call and tell them you want to commit. That's how you know.
Just like that. Who would you? I mean,
call a coach and say, Coach, I want to commit. I want to end my recruiting today. That's how you know offers on the table. Period. And you know what they're gonna tell you? Well, hold on, my coach is out of town right now. We haven't really gotten together. Hold tight. They'll back you up if they don't really want you. They'll find a way to tell you to slow it down. Oh man, I'll call you back. That's great news. Let me hit you back. Let me get the staff together if they don't really want you. So that'll stop all those fake offers out there. Call them and commit. Now you better be ready. You better hope you're ready to go there now. You better hope that's somewhere you want to go. But the only way to know that you truly have an offer is to say that you really want to come there.
Wow.
That answer your question?
I mean, that's I want it because you, of course, a career Division I assistant coach and interim head coach as well. Hey, Chris, before I get to the next, I just want to ask to put stuff in perspective. You would know the answer to this because you asked Hal a question earlier about something in his sector. How many African American Black assistant coaches out there have been in the business that are still working right now as an assistant coach, have been in the business longer than you, has been a coach longer than you on the collegiate Division I ranks?
Not many.
Alvin Brooks would be one.
Robert Kirby.
Well, let's put it like this. We give another category that never got an official head coaching title. Joe.
Oh man,
So Robert Kirby would be one. And who else?
And I don't know.
No, I mean, because I'm not trying to make a joke out of the question.
You talking about in this area, Jimmy?
No, in the country.
What about Steve
In the
Williams?
United States.
Who?
Steve Williams.
Steve Williams from North Carolina.
Yeah.
Oh, he's been a head coach. He was a head coach at Tulsa.
Yeah, he's a head coach. That's right. So right, I mean, this is a hell of a. See, a lot of times, what my point is, so you understand where I'm going, why you can think of other names, is that if we don't share your history, then how the hell you think they're supposed to get it?
Right.
They're gonna wait to read it. They're gonna wait till you die and read an obituary, and then they'll say, "Oh hell, I ain't know that about Chris." And I think that it's not taking a low road,
Chris ain't done
because that you're basically relaying facts.
Right. Stop hating. Tell how to stop hating, Jimmy.
I mean, a lot of people. I mean, seriously. And you look. I mean, Robert Kirby. Is there any others that you can name? And what I asked Chris guys is the amount of heads.
Our boy Bush Pierre, but he left. He's out of the business.
Who?
The coach of JUCO. Bush Pierre was one.
Butch Pierre.
Bush Pierre was one, but he's not coaching anymore.
Well, no, he's a head coach now.
At JUCO though. At a JUCO.
Yeah, but he's still a head coach.
That's true. The first time being a head coach. I can't think of.
Bilal was the head coach too.
Who?
What? Bilal at Paris.
Oh, you stupid.
He was.
I can't think of. It ain't very many. Not with that many years.
Chris, that's your homework assignment because that's very important.
I don't have to do one. I'm telling you right now. That's how few get a chance. It ain't that many. I can't. I mean, I'm racking my brain right now because they have to be guys that I know. That's the only way. I gotta know them. So if I don't know them, they don't exist.
I support.
So Robert Kirby right now, as it stands, is the longest tenured assistant coach in the United States that hadn't ever became a head coach before. Wow. In college basketball.
I would say he has got to be one of the top guys that hasn't been. Maybe only other Harrison, our boy at West Virginia, he got a chance. I'm just saying, like, it ain't that many. Like, you'd be shocked. In my mind, I'm trying to figure out what guy had the guy at UConn. Remember our guy at UConn used to be at UConn, but he ain't been in the business 20 years though. That was with Marvin Menzie over at UNLV. From California, used to be with Kevin Ollie. He's been in the business a long time, but I think he's out now. But Kirby might be the only guy. Kirby, and I don't know how long Stubblefield been in the business.
And you?
Was Stubblefield coaching before you?
No,
Stud.
I don't think
Forgot
so.
about Stud.
No,
Yeah, I don't
What
think
about
so either.
Tang? What about Tang?
no.
Tang only been in 15 years.
Yeah, because he's been at Baylor every year.
Yeah.
He been at Baylor for 15 years?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2003, 2004 is when Scott Drew got there. Something like that. By 2000, maybe 2004. Yeah.
I'll tell you one, Glenn Cyprian. That's another one.
Sip.
Tip.
But he was a head coach at the D League team.
In the
G-League
D
team.
Was
League.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. In
Okay.
the D League.
Yeah,
So Chris, you're in rare air, man. You're in rare air. Now, Heather, you got something
hey,
else?
Hannah, I don't want to be in that air.
No, Chris, but you know what? You got so many talents, Chris. Coaching is just something that you have a passion.
Appreciate that. I appreciate that. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because I love you as a announcer. Are you awesome as an
I'll be back there.
Okay.
I'm smart. I'm trying to live longer.
But I got something for you. Somebody said,
Oh my God.
no, not for you, but for Jimmy too. They said
Okay.
4 and 5 star prospects. They're talking to the 4 and 5 star prospects. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry to break it to you,
Uh-oh.
but we've seen y'all before. You guys exist every year in every class. You're not that important.
Whoa.
Stop playing the game like you doing us a favor by playing. You're not entitled to anything. All of you can't go to the NBA, so be humble. Wow.
Where's that from? Who wrote that?
Hey,
Who wrote that?
sent that to me? I'm not gonna, Jimmy. What about them sources? I'm not gonna.
Was it a pro?
Huh? No,
Was it a pro?
no,
Or a retired pro?
no. This was just a coach. It's a coach.
It was Charles Woodson did that. You know, it was Charles Woodson.
No,
wasn't it?
Charles Woodson said that. I
Oh,
promise
Charles
you.
Woodson did that?
I'll tell it on him.
It was Ty Law, wasn't it? It was
No.
Ty Law.
No. And then hold up, the same coach came back and said, it was a coach. He said, I'm so big on my players being thankful and playing this game with respect. The moment I see signs of entitlement or disrespect toward this game that has helped many lives, we have a problem.
I already know who it is.
Your basketball talent doesn't obligate anybody to do anything for you. Remember that.
I know exactly who wrote that. And I'm not going to say his name.
Okay. Well, don't say it. Don't say it.
Hey, T-Sheet, by the way, I was in Brooklyn the other day at the park, and guess who rolled up in there?
Who?
Who that?
Ray for Austin.
Give to Malou.
Ray for Austin.
Oh, Ray, that's my man.
There. Ray for Austin.
From New York, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You try to bring that New York stuff down to the South. That summer team, we tore that head up and brought you back up to the city.
Hey, man, let me tell you something.
Hey, Chris, I got one
Let me tell you
more.
something.
I got one more.
What's that?
You got one more?
He said at the end, hold up, man. Gosh, y'all done messed me up. He said when he scheduled a workout, hold on, man. This. Chris, you might can help me with this one. He talked about these talented prospects, I guess. He owned them today. He said, when I schedule a workout, when you schedule, wait a minute. He said, if you schedule your workouts around what's going on in your life, then you're hustling wrong. I think he hung out with Jimmy. He said, you better schedule your, man, not at that pace. You better schedule your life. You better schedule your life around your workouts.
Right.
I hear too many players say they can't work out because they got something else to do. You guys better figure it out fast. Wow.
Or get a Rosetta Stone.
So now, Chris, recruiting question. We got Herb Ladique just joined us on the Facebook feed. What's going on, Herb?
What's up, Herb?
I see all your people out there, man. I see Freight, Chuck McCowan.
What's up, Chuck? Freight.
Trey Phillips, Lionel Gar, and the rest of you guys out there.
Up. Lionel, Lori got something going on. Damian Dawson, I think Wesley, and one more person. Lori, I didn't tag it, so I don't have it. they're having a meet and greet soon, Jimmy, on 401 Ceres Street. Hold on. Lori, make sure you post that in our Facebook and tag me and Jimmy. Oh, Daniel Gibson and Wesley, I think she might be talking about Wesley Uwando. We'll be having a meet and greet on Saturday, August the 24th from 3 to 5 p.m. So somewhere,
Okay.
Jimmy. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Well, of course, she gives us that info so we can post it again, of course, and leading up until that's August the 24th. And don't forget, guys, on this Thursday, at Triple J's Barbecue, and that is located on Homestead, right off the intersection of the inside, right outside of Loop 610 in the Homestead intersection. Triple J's Barbecue. We're going to be hosting our annual back to school drive, and we will be giving out backpacks, school clothing, school supplies, and even after school clothing as well. Now, the after school clothing is where you guys can come in if you are interested in supplying some items of clothing for elementary school age kids or sized kids, because the age don't matter. It's the size that do in this situation. Then simply give us an email at chopshophtx@gmail.com. That's chopshophtx@gmail.com. That's the website. That's the email address. Also, that will take place Thursday, August the 15th. We're going to start at 6:30 when it gets time, right when it gets cool. And we'll be done servicing about 4. Well, it starts to get cool around 6:30. It gets dark at about 8:20. So we'll be done at about 7:15, servicing about 400 to 500 kids. So come on out and spread the word to the annual back to school drive. The Harris County Sheriff Department is one of our partners with this event. They provide the traffic detail, meaning that it provides even more safer environment in this I've seen back to school drives where people start squabbling over them backpacks and stuff. I've seen it. And so people are like, I'm in line first. I've seen it. We had a squabble at one before.
Y'all must be giving out Prada backpacks or something.
Well, what happened?
Jimmy,
no.
What about a starting 5? We got to give out starting 5 before we get off. Did you?
And we definitely give a starting 5. We get ready to land up out of here.
I got mine.
The starting 5 was the first 5 viewers who logged onto our Facebook feed, and we want to take out the time to thank you guys and for not only tuning in, but also to those of you who shared the show, because sharing the show on our digital platform is very important. Because what we're doing, think about it like this: we're not asking you to give some money. We're not asking you to come and show and help out with your physical presence. We ask you to simply press a button that say that you like our page and to share the show to your timeline. That's how the show gets traction. That's it. So take in consideration about how important it is to share the show. That's it. That's all we're asking.
YouTube, Jimmy, don't forget the YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube.
Look back, and of course the YouTube channel. That is Chop Shop HTX. Meanwhile, without further ado, my starting 5 for the day, of course, is Darrell Anderson, Rick Wilmore, Troy Callahan, Slim McDaniel, and Herb Baker rounds out my starting 5 for today. And who you got?
I got Rick Wilmore, Melvin Dews, Todd Holmes, Rick Brown, and Coach Stephen Woods.
There you go, man. And of course, guys.
And Jimmy, what time that thing again, Jimmy? At
6. That's Thursday, this Thursday, 6:30 until supplies are depleted at Triple J's Barbecue. And Triple J's Barbecue, of course, you guys, I've said it, that's going to be, the location is 6715 Homestead. That's 6715 Homestead Road in Northeast Houston. That's going to be the annual back to school drive.
Jimmy, make sure you tell them, don't be afraid to come to the hood, because we grew up on Homestead. Tell them, don't be afraid now.
Chris, I can't imagine
Triple J's doesn't close, and Triple J's doesn't close to 7:30. So therefore, guys, you can come in and get you some barbecue as well. We're going to feed the kiddos as well. So all kids school supplies, backpacks, clothing, and a lot more.
I got one more thing for you, Jimmy. One of my favorite Facebook people, Boom Boom Rumors. Lori said, why can't y'all go in overtime? Y'all ain't at the station today.
We are in overtime. It's 2 hours.
Unbelievable.
We 5 minutes over. Because at the station, we would be off the air 4 minutes ago. So we are in overtime. So guess what? We appreciate you guys. Thanks so much, man. It's time to get up out of here. Chop shop.
Boy, y'all something else.